Hey, welcome to our first ever long-form content video. If you're new here, we hope you like it. We're glad you found us. And to our subscribers, thank you. Your support means everything to us. Now that I feel thoroughly cringe after making my first ever YouTube video introduction, let's get down to what this video is going to be about, which you probably know from the title, but we're reviewing 3 doggy puzzle toys today. Puzzle toys are a great way to add enrichment to your dog's life by exercising their brains and their bodies. And depending on the toy, it might get them out of your hair for a couple minutes so you can relax and do the things that you like to do. So with that out of the way, let's meet our contestants. This is Riff Raff, our 3-year-old, 43-pound Shetland sheepdog that we've raised since he was a puppy. He was our first dog to the house. He's the love of our life. He's extremely high energy, and frankly, I'm not. So once we're done our walks and runs in the field, see our shorts for that, we go home, rest for a little while, but then his brain is ready to go again. He's extremely intelligent, almost to a scary degree sometimes. He picks up puzzle toys in no time flat, so when we find one that lasts him for more than a minute and a half, we're always happy. Next up is Chucho. We're not exactly sure how old Chucho is, but the vet says he's anywhere between 4 and 6. We rescued him approximately 5 months ago from Texas. He's a really little guy, only 8 pounds, though when we got him, he was only 6 pounds. Chucho's previous owner had died, and he was left to a high-kill shelter in Texas, where he was rescued by a no-kill shelter, which then transported him here to us, where he's been living happy and healthy ever since. Chucho is a very good boy. He escapes a lot of the typical Chihuahua tropes. However, he has not really been gifted in the brains department. He struggles sometimes with puzzle toys, both due to his limited intelligence and his limited size. Unlike his brother, Chucho is very relaxed and easygoing. His favorite thing to do is find a nice blanket to curl up on or in and snooze the day away. Even better if there's a ray of sunshine to bask in. So now that we've met these 2 crazy hounds, let's go through the ranking system that we'll use for these puzzle toys. We'll be ranking the toys on 4 categories on a scale from 1 to 5. First being ease of filling, second, ease of cleaning, third, noise level, and fourth, level of enrichment it provides for each dog. First up is this toy that has one of those weird long Amazon names, but it's the Carozen Dog Puzzle Toy. Now, I've seen a lot of different styles of these toys going around, some of them even having a nail file on the top to help groom your dog's nails as they use the toy. Now, we've never tried that type, but as you can see, the mechanism is pretty straightforward. The dog slaps the top of the bowl, the treats slide down the chute into the flaps where the dog can retrieve them. There's also these slidey sections that the dog slides back and forth to get the treats. One setback of this toy is sometimes the treats get stuck in the chute, as you can see with my terrible camera work here. A press will usually get it out, but every now and again the dog will twist the top off of the toy, allowing them to eat all the snacks on the inside. In terms of filling, it couldn't be easier. You twist off the top, pour the kibble in, saving a little bit on the side for the sliding drawers, twist the top back on, and you're practically done. We're filling it with Riff Raff's portion in this video, which is 1/4 cup. Both of the dogs get a Kana Wild Prairie formula. This one takes 20 seconds to fill, so on filling, we give it a 5 out of 5. In terms of cleaning, it gets very dirty, as you can see. That's because it's a combination of paws and drool and tongues, and it's on the floor, so it gets a little dingy. It takes a while to clean, approximately 3 minutes, but with a good soak down at first and a good brush to get into all the angles and the grooves under the flaps, you will be able to get it clean again. Now, I clean the toys once a week because we have a lot of them that we rotate through, so I'm hoping eventually we can make this into a series where we can try a bunch of different toys with our boys. Unfortunately, because there is so many odd little angles and stuff, I am going to have to rate the cleaning for this one a 3 out of 5. In terms of noise, this toy is loud. 2 out of 5. First up to try the toy is Riff Raff. Now, it's not really fair, he's been using this toy since he was a really young puppy, so he figured it out a long time ago. It only takes him about 40 seconds to blaze through this toy. However, it does still provide him enrichment. He uses his nose to activate his brain to find the kibbles, as well as his body to circle the toy and press down on the top. So for enrichment for Riff Raff, we're going to give this toy a 3 out of 5. Chucho struggles with this toy. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of his limited size or his limited brain function, but as you can see, he has a very hard time pushing down on the top to dispense the kibbles. We found a way to work around this, however. By going through and placing the kibbles into the flaps beforehand, he can get the same stimulation of walking around the bowl and using his nose to sniff without the added function of slapping it on the top. Unfortunately, because of this setback, however, we're going to have to give the enrichment level for Chucho a 2 out of 5. Next up is the Wobble Bowl by Outward Hound. Now, there's also a lot of different styles of these bowls as well, but this is just the one that we have. This toy is also extremely straightforward. Ask me how silly I felt while filming this, but basically the dog just bats at the bowl and the treats come out little holes along the side, as you can see here, and then they gobble them up as they come along. Filling for this toy literally couldn't be easier. You twist off the top, dump the kibble in, twist the top back on, and you're done. 5 out of 5. Cleaning for this toy honestly isn't too bad. I have a bit of a smaller sink, so it can be a bit of a pain, but as you can see, the toy comes apart into 2 pieces. It's a little tricky to get around some of the edges of the maze, but aside from that, it only takes about a minute to clean, so honestly not too bad. Most of the mess just comes from oil from the kibbles and some licking around the edges of the holes, but I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. In terms of noise, this toy is also very, very loud. 1 out of 5. Riff Raff has also had this toy since he was a puppy, so he's got it down pretty pat by this point. However, because of the unpredictability of where the kibble will go in the maze, it's always a new puzzle for him every time he uses it. It's a toy that really stimulates his body as he has to smash at the toy and able to dispense the treats and then chase them all over the floor. So for Riff Raff, I'm going to give this toy a 5 out of 5. Chucho absolutely loves this toy. It's by far his favorite, to the point where he will do this nose flick to random things around the house, hoping that treats will fall out. Another thing that can happen is this. If your dog gets a little too overzealous with their flicks, they can flip the dish, therefore making it unusable, and you'll have to flick it over again. But again, it's Chucho's favorite toy, and I can't knock him for that. So, for his sake, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Lastly, we have another one by Outward Hound, this one being the slider treat puzzle. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this one. The puzzle itself is pretty straightforward. You put kibbles into these little compartments, the dog slides them around with its paws, and then licks the kibbles out of the little compartments. My biggest gripe about this toy is the size of it. It's absolutely massive, very hard to store, and very hard to fit into my aforementioned very small sink. Filling can also be a bit of a hassle. As you can see, fortunately, the bottom drawer slides out, allowing you access to the compartment tray. You then begin to fill the tray with kibbles. You can do this one by one, or sort of spread it over the top and give the tray a shake, or use your hands like this to distribute the kibble throughout. Regardless, you are going to get greasy kibble fingers. You then load the tray back into the holder, which can be a pain sometimes. It's hard to get the notches to line up quite right, but I got it right this time. Once that's done, you're good to go. For filling, we'll give this one 2 out of 5. Once I take apart my dish rack, I'm able to start cleaning this beast. The actual cleaning isn't too bad as long as you get into each of the little compartments, because a lot of drool tends to bug up in there. When it comes to cleaning the bottom of the sliders, that can also pose a bit of a challenge, but you just slide them across one by one and make sure to get all in and around every little crevice. Due to its size and the little crevices that you need to get into, this one's going to get a 3 out of 5 for cleaning. This toy can also be pretty loud, but not as loud as some of the others, so for that one, we're going to give it a 2 out of 5. This is yet another toy that Riff has had since he was a puppy, and once again, it really doesn't pose much of a challenge to him. He can blaze through this puzzle in under a minute. However, it does still stimulate his mind and his body by circling the toy, pawing at the slider, and then sniffing out exactly where the treats are left. We're going to give this one a 4 out of 5 for Riff Raff. Chucho needs to be reminded sometimes of how the toy works, but once he gets going, he really gets going. He loves this toy. Also, it keeps him busy for a very, very long time. It takes him about 5 minutes to work his way through this puzzle. One thing that he does do, however, is tries to bite the edges of the slider and sort of lift them up. Thankfully, he's not strong enough to do that, but if you have a bigger dog, it's definitely something to consider. This one gets a 5 out of 5 from Chucho. So there you have it, our first YouTube video. We really hope you enjoyed it and that you found it informative and maybe help you make a decision on puzzle toys for your dogs. If you'd like to see more of this, drop a comment and let me know. Or consider subscribing or checking out some of our other content, which is mostly in the form of shorts right now. But depending on how this video does, we might make more long-form content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.